Thank you for staying and welcome back to Business Live. Now, in our very first story, the country's rising debts continue to be a major concern for institutions that assess Ghana's credit ratings. One of these institutions, Fitch, in its latest report about the country, says the development could result in a possible downgrade of the country's credit worthiness. There's more in this report.
The report on Ghana noted that the recent undisclosed 7 billion cedis expenditure poses a major risk to the country's finances, with ratings agency Fitch saying it might affect government's ability to pay its debt on time. Fitch recently reviewed the outlook for Ghana's B credit rating from positive to negative, a development analysts say could lead to a downgrade if measures are not taken to address the concerns raised by the agency. Analysts say Ghana's B rating with a negative outlook is more of a warning to investors that government could have problems paying its debt on time because of a rising public debt, which stands at 122 billion cedis. Another agency, Moody's, also recently warned that the budget deficits and rising expenditure poses a major risk to Ghana's credit rating. Fitch, however, in a report notes that it believes the current administration is committed to stabilizing the economy under the IMF program. For some, even though Ghana might not be downgraded anytime soon, these warnings might not be good for government as regards interest it might be made to pay on loans and the cost of borrowing. Government last year set aside some 11 billion cedis to settle interest on loans.
Meanwhile, economist Courage Marty says a downgrade of Ghana's credit-worthy status will not have any significant impact on the economy. I interacted with him earlier on the marketplace.
I don't think that they would want to undermine their own belief and go ahead and downgrade. That would be a contradiction. Then the third point is that the current rating of B, Fitch noted, is supported by the IMF program. Otherwise, they could have downgraded. And so given the fact that the current government has given its commitment to the IMF program together with the IMF team, I believe that these three factors should support the rating at where it is without any further down. So what we should be doing is looking at cutting expenditure or limiting the expenditure overruns. And this is where the major risk comes from, because if you look at the revenue side, the main reason why there was a shortfall in the revenue relative to the target was because of the technical challenges with crude oil production on the FPSO at Jubilee. But if you look at the expenditure side, this is where there is to be a lot of control measures put in place. And if we don't do this, this is where we risk a downgrade.
Away from that, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta will now present the 2017 budget on Thursday, 2nd March. The minister had initially told Joy Business he was looking at Friday, March 3. George Biafe, in the following report, looks at why the budget must be in the first week of next month, or government could face some crisis.
The review in date, sources say, to ensure that there's enough time for the necessary debate on the 2017 budget, so government can have the legal backing to draw funds from the single treasury account and the consolidated account from April 1. This is because the almost 11 billion cedis estimate approved by Parliament last year for government to spend will end on March 31. This should mean that if the finance minister is not able to present the budget next Thursday, there could be some challenges in getting necessary funds to run government business from April. But Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta tells Joy Business they are set to present the budget next Thursday, adding that it will be a business-friendly budget.
The Lord will lead us. I think we will have something that would be encouraging to the private sector, something that will create relief, and something that would ensure that our education and nurses are taken care of.
The expectation and the stakes are so high. Are you also worried about that people are so expectant? I ran through your manifesto, and the question I asked myself is that, will this thing be done first with the presentation of the budget, or it will be in gradual stages?
We have to be reasonable in terms of the fiscal space of have and what we can do. But I think the nation would be impressed about the kind of solutions that we may have found even in this short time. But at least there will be a commitment to continuing, a commitment to transparency, and a commitment to hard work to make sure that we unburden our nation.
Cabinet meeting this week should finalize the estimates from the various ministries, departments and agencies so the finance minister can settle on how much government intends to spend for the whole of 2017. The meeting will also settle on funding or a more sustainable way of meeting some of its manifesto promises, like the free senior high school policy, and also the impact of the planned tax cuts on the economy.
Now, industry players in the agric sector have welcomed government's action plan to use the agric sector to turn around the fortunes of the economy whilst creating jobs. In the State of the Nation address presented yesterday, President Akufo-Addo highlighted government's plan to launch a national campaign dubbed Planting for Food and Jobs in achieving the goal. The strategy buttresses plans to make agric the centerpiece of economic recovery and the job creation agenda.
The initiative involves 125 million Canadian dollars to be invested in improved seeds and extension services for farmers. Players in the sector have generally hailed this as timely, but with appeals to government in yielding the best results. Peasant farmers, for instance, have highlighted the need for government to engage all stakeholders ahead of the implementation. Charles Nyaba is project coordinator of the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana.
It's good, but we would like to know how they are going to roll this out. And we will want them to do broader consultation with the stakeholders in the sector. For instance, if you want to invest in seed, how are you going to do it? Are you going to buy the seed and give to the farmers free? Or you are going to subsidize the seed? Or you are going to put it into CSIR so that they will do more research? Or you are going to import this seed? These are issues that we all need to know. Now, if you want to invest in extension, we want to know, are you going to lift the embargo on recruitment?
He adds that the timely release of input subsidies is also critical in achieving the desired results.
It's good, but we would like to know how they are going to roll this out. And we will want them to do broader consultation with the stakeholders in the sector. For instance, if you want to invest in seed, how are you going to do it? Are you going to buy the seed and give to the farmers free? Or you are going to subsidize the seed? Or you are going to put it into CSIR so that they will do more research? Or you are going to import this seed? These are issues that we all need to know.
The General Agricultural Workers Union, GAU, also wants government to avoid repeating mistakes of the past administration in implementation of such policies. The Deputy General Secretary, Edward Karuwe, has been speaking with Joy Business.
The government will take advantage of the past experiences of how certain projects of that nature have suffered and make sure that this project does not suffer that fate. In the sense that if you have the benefit of the past experience, you should not behave as though there's nothing like that. So they can reduce the losses, they can reduce mismanagement, they can reduce poor management of this fund by taking into account what has happened to previous projects like that in the past.
Meanwhile, the General Agricultural Workers Union GAU is also urging government to create a market which will fend for the one village, one factory policy. President Akufo-Addo, in his maiden State of the Nation address, revealed his administration is resolved to improving farming. But in an interview with Joy Business, General Secretary of GAU, Edward Karuwe, tells Joy Business the policy risks facing severe challenges.
Let's take the one village, one dam policy. It's a novelty. But if you have a novelty policy, it also brings up some novelty challenges. The one village, one dam, if anything at all, is targeting the northern part of the country, where there's acute shortage of water for much of the year. It's about 8 months of the year without water, and then the rest you have rains. So you need a dam that will contain water for 8 months. Now, there are a number of purposes for dams. You could have a dam that is just meant for the household animals to go there and drink. And if they go and drink in the morning and they're not thirsty, they will not go back. So the water will remain there until they come to drink again. But if you want a dam for irrigation purpose, it means that a number of things will have to be put in place. Look at the cost of the dam itself, which may be manageable, but the additional cost that you need to incur in order to prepare the place for agricultural purpose could be very high. So you need a dam that can contain water to be watering the plants daily, in the morning, in the evening, for 8 months. So you can begin to imagine the size of that dam. You know, you can begin to imagine the size of that dam. So it's not just about a small dam, so it means the dam must also be big.
Away from agriculture, some stakeholders in the real estate sector are calling for subsidies from government to reduce excessive cost of accommodation within the housing sector. CEO of Volcacom Realty, Gloria Bohimao, said the practice of collecting 2 or more years' rent advance remains a major setback to obtaining decent accommodation facilities for both domestic and commercial users. In an interview with Joy Business, she advocated subsidies will enhance affordability in the housing industry.
The issue of advance payment has once again come to the fore, with the new Minister of Housing promising to review the practice when he appeared before the Appointments Committee of Parliament for vetting. Currently, the practice has put a strain on many home seekers, some of whom cannot raise substantial resources to meet landlords' demands. CEO of Volcacom Realty, Gloria Bohimao, says her outfit provides an opportunity to overcome the obstacles.
Realize that a lot more people are struggling with their 24 months payment of rent, while in most countries outside Ghana, they are doing monthly. So we came up with a concept. We decided, why not we do that and see how it will go. So we started with just 5 people. We started paying their rent for them to be paying us in monthly. So and we realized that they're actually bringing us referrals. They were telling their friends and family, and we realized a lot more people needed that service. Because in Ghana here, you pay, apart from if you're working your transportation, your cost of living being high, and you're supposed to pay 24 months, raise that chunk of money to pay your rent. If they have that luxury of being able to pay in monthly installment, it will be better. So those 5 people were excited, and through that we got referrals from other people, and now it's a growing business.
She, however, mentioned high default rate as a major challenge, but was optimistic the company could soon extend its tentacles.
We have the default rates going up and all that, but we've put measures in place to check all those things. We have people who don't qualify, but they'll come and tell you all sorts of problems, and then you feel bad for them. But you also have to bear in mind that it's a business. We are growing it. Though we want to help people, but we also need, so we give them solutions to the problems. So we always find a way.
The National Planning Committee for the Ghana's 60th Independence Anniversary Committee has launched the Jubilee App Innovation Challenge ahead of Ghana's 60th Independence celebration. The competition will see young graduates in information communication technology win various awards for their contribution to Ghana's technology industry. Chairman of the Events Subcommittee of the Ghana 60 Years On Committee, Lord Comey, tells Joy Business government will consider offering scholarships to 60 students across all the regions in an effort to boost training in information technology.
These solid things on the table, on our table, and for that matter, on government's table, that the rest is to invest into it. And that one, I'm sure the Ghanaian people will also be proud that governments devote time and energy and money in turning this innovation into something that the Ghanaian people would be beneficial. You heard me talk about scholarships, that at the end of the day we are looking for sponsors to send 60 people significant of the 60 years on from every region. I'm sure these young people would be part of it. I mean, external support that will get them to improve upon whatever innovative ideas that they bring up. And more importantly, is government's investment into these wonderful innovative ideas for the benefit of Ghanaian people. We will be proud that through the president challenging us, we have challenged young people to come up with ideas that will go to help this country. Of course, there's a government setup. There's a whole ministry in charge of these innovations. And so it gets to his table. But he was supposed even to be here. But I can show you that when you go back and talk to him, he has an eye in this. He is part of the process. He will be part of the selection. And he himself, God bless, that he is a man of innovation himself, would help.
You're watching Business Live. We're taking a breather here. When we come back, it will be time for the Joy Business Fan. And the new government's one district, one factory policy has generated a lot of discussion, not only about its feasibility, but the impact on livelihoods as well. NAC & Co Company Limited, situated in the little village of Jampumeni in the eastern region, could be described as a perfect example, having risen to become the #1 supplier of purified water in the area. The Joy Business Van visited the facility to ascertain how it is providing jobs for many in and around the village.
Jampumeni is near Osino in the Fantiakwa district of the eastern region. It's a farming community with a population of less than 300. The most reliable water source for this village is boreholes. Interestingly, it is the location of the region's biggest water purification company. NAC refilters water pumped from the boreholes, which are situated at the bottom of the mountains, to produce natural mineral water from a state-of-the-art facility. NAC secured the license to operate in 2015 and is currently managed by Yusuf Amidu. He supervises the production of close to 20,000 bags of purified sachet water every day. It's really a simple process, as Yusuf shows me, to purify the water once it is extracted from the boreholes.
We have the raw water from the borehole. It comes into the raw water tanks, and from there it is pumped through the media. Now from the white tank, it comes through the UV lights to the filter down here, another UV light on top of the coil, and even the flip sheet that folds into the pouches is also UV light, so that if there's any bacteria there, it will kill it. And the water is free from pollution from the operator. It just has automatic filling and automatic packaging, and you have the product that comes out free of any pollution. It is packaged like this and then sent to the warehouse for distribution.
NAC places premium on quality water, so its products go through a series of lab tests.
Every 1 hour we pick sample, we test. Sometimes we even test to the extent of testing the quantity. It should be 500 milliliters, and we make sure it is up to the quantity that is prescribed by the Food and Drugs Authority and Ghana Standard Board.
Once the products are cleared, they're loaded onto these trucks for distribution at NAC's 6 depots. NAC, which was initially set up to provide safe drinking water for the Jampumeni community, now distributes across 3 regions, including Greater Accra and Central. As part of Yusuf's day-to-day activities, he manages a staff of about 200.
The only source of employment within here and even Osino is this mineral water company. At the factory alone, we have about 200 workers, and day in, day out, when we expand our operations, we keep on employing people. So apart from this, our factory that is located in this area, the only other source of employment you can find around here is a galamsey business.
Perhaps the most important advantage of operating from this remote village, aside creation of jobs, is the easy access to water devoid of pollution. However, as Yusuf explains, they have to grapple with other challenges such as poor road network. The water purification business has become popular, so what impact has competition had on NAC?
Competitors, we have the new entrants. Some people just start a chamber hall kind of factory and start to filter water.
But as you have seen, this is a very magnificent edifice and a very big company on its own. So when we are faced with the challenges with the competitors, they tend to reduce their price. But then we keep on speaking to our customers, letting them know what quality is all about and how important it is to pay for quality. Though we are not selling at a very higher price, but the little that we are able to make, we don't joke with our quality.
NAC is hoping to start a water bottling company as part of expansion plans.
When that comes, we will do all that we can to compete with the giants in the market when it comes to bottling water, that is Voltic, Belacqua, and others. We have a portion of a place and a business proposal has already been done. Drawings have already been done. And very soon we will start that project. And when it starts, perhaps the employment that we have now may even triple.
So one factory, one district concept at work.
All right, so you watch a repeat of the Joy Business Fund tomorrow on the marketplace at 1 p.m. It's now time for the busy bits.
Today's tip will help you set the line spacing in Microsoft Word. Here's how to set some text in Word to be double spaced. Highlight the text you want to double space. Click on Format on the menu bar and then select Paragraph. In the window that appears, look for line spacing and change it to double. Then click OK. Another paragraph setting that you might want to experiment with is indentation, where you can set your text for hanging indent, which is used for bibliographies.
In the interview of the day today, government is reiterating the desire to use agric as a tool to enhance its employment agenda. Even though the sector recorded a negative growth in 2016, it still remained the leading provider of jobs in the country. But President of GAU, Edward Karewe, says the sector could be made attractive for employment if government includes science and technology.
Into production, you should leave the marketing to someone else to also do, and you leave the manufacturing to someone else to do. So the situation that we have today where a farmer will have to produce and still look for market for his produce.
We know that the agric sector employs a chunk of the population. What best strategy do you think governments could employ to rope in these unemployed youths into the agric sector this time around?
The challenge here is this. We have got a society that is advancing in technology. People want to use smartphones. They want to live a certain lifestyle. Now, and they are the youth. So to get them to go into agriculture, they would like to go into agriculture and then carry out jobs that will allow them to still live their comfortable life with the smartphones and so on and the rest. So to encourage the youth to go there, first and foremost, the agricultural methods that we use, the hoe and cutlass system must go, because many young people will not do that.
And that will be it for Business Live tonight. Many thanks for watching, and do join again same time tomorrow. My name is Emmanuel Abuachi. Good evening.